check, 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need, get over the fear, and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello, everybody. Michael Quarles with the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show, and it is podcast episode 282. Today we have 5 questions sent in, and remember, as you know, send your questions to support@michaelquarles.com. A couple things before we get started. One is I could share you some reviews up on iTunes. If any of you folks listen to this via iTunes, it would really help out quite a bit if you'd go up there, and if you like the show, let them know that you like the show and what you like about it. Give me those 5 stars. That would be appreciated. Secondly, just wanted to shout out a little bit about the coaching program. Currently, it is $247 a month for 6 months or $1197 one time for 6 months. Currently, we have a CRM. We meet 50 times a month or approximately. You have an accountability coach. There's a bunch of audios and videos and things to read. The reality is I'm going to make you into a real estate investor. You follow the program, you'll be up and buying houses before too long. You're going to be buying them the right way where you maximize your return. You're going to learn the key components of real estate investing. Of course, we know about assigning. We're going to learn some stuff on that. Wholesaling, we're going to learn some stuff on that. Wholesaling, we're going to learn a lot of things on that. Wholesaling is like the key to success. I mean, it is absolutely going to return more money for you than any of the other forms of real estate investing. And we're going to talk a lot about fix and flipping. We absolutely know that some of you are going to want to go out there and buy a house that needs to be rehabbed, rehab that house and maximize your return. And then we're going to talk a lot about seller financing, how to negotiate that, how to put that together. What are the terms? What are the correct forms? How do you actually get someone to 100% seller finance? We're going to learn a lot about subject 2. We're going to learn a lot about subject 2. And the ins and outs of it, how to make it legal, how to do it the correct and most ethical way. Combination of those two. We're going to learn where money comes from, where to find it, how to get it, how to utilize it. Then, of course, we're going to learn a ton about marketing, what works, what doesn't work. We're going to run algorithms on your marketplace to determine what folks you should be marketing to and why. We're going to learn systemization so you can walk away from your business, but your business still performs. Everybody that's listening in, it's fun to be a real estate investor. I enjoy it a lot, but I can tell you wholeheartedly, I enjoy owning the real estate business more than I enjoy being a real estate investor. So what that means is I have a business with a lot of folks that work inside of it. We buy a lot of houses. I'll not talk to a seller this year. I won't go see a house this year. I won't do any of those things because I have people that I have trained in positions, and I want to do the same thing for you. So I buy locally and I buy virtually. So if you want to do both of those things or one of the two of those things, come on board. Let's learn how to do this. Here we go. Question number 1. When purchasing a property with fire damage, what I don't know, what should I know? Minimum fire damage, it did not penetrate ceilings and walls and that kind of stuff. Okay, so here's the question. Let me paraphrase. If I'm going to be a fire damage investor, which it's great. I think it is great. What do I need to know? What do I need to be looking out for? Well, the reality is when you're a fire damage real estate investor, you're also a fire damage contractor. So you really need to have a pretty good and a large base of construction. Like I have you all know that I have a California broker's license, so I'm a broker. But I also have a California Department of the Contractors Board B1, General Building Contractor's License, so I can go out and build a house. So I've gone through that training and that experience to learn how to do some of these things. So when I see a fire damage, and there's a bucket load of money to be made in fire damage, and jump on in the coaching program, I'll teach you how to do that. It's not for all of us, because if we don't have an extensive construction background, it's not for you. Okay? Because what happens is by the time you hire a contractor that has the knowledge that you don't have, that kind of gobbles up the extra money that you're going to make because you have the experience, and then those are profitable deals. So unless you've been trained and understand how to buy them and what to look for, penetrate, how much of a fire damage is it kind of thing. I would stay away from it. But if you've got a little bit of experience, I'll take you the rest of the way. And it's a lot like when you buy a house that has mold. It scares a lot of folks. Mold's a bad thing. It doesn't scare me because, I've bought a lot of houses with mold, and I understand what it takes and the considerations that we have to consider when we buy a house with mold, and how to mitigate it, how to fix it, how to put it all back together, make it pretty again, and safe for the next family. So, it's what we teach in the coaching program. So if you want to know more about it, come on in. But don't jump into fire damage investing without knowing. It's not something you can learn on the job. Like a lot of investing, I can throw you in the middle of the water and say, hey, start swimming, and this is how you swim, and give you the life jackets in the boat, and all the guards and everybody that's going to keep you safe. When you do like a wholesale deal, or if you do minor fix and flip, or if you do a wholesale deal, I can keep you safe, and you can learn on the job doing some of those things. I wouldn't want you to learn on the job doing a fire damage fix and flip. I wouldn't want to do that for you. Now, if you came to me and say, Mike, I got this deal, I want to do it, I'm probably going to tell you to wholesale it or assign it or wholesale it over fix and flipping it, because there's so much that what you don't know is so risky, if that makes any sense. My job isn't to tell you how good you can be. How good, a situation can be. My job is to teach you how to be a real estate investor and warn you and show you what to stay away from. Be honest with you and ethical with you. Just because you ask me a question, if you're not prepared for that answer, do not ask the question. So when you're in the program, bring your questions, bring your concerns, bring your opportunities, and I will give you my opinion. And sometimes my opinion isn't something you want to hear, but I think it's important for you to hear. Question number 2. What is the best way to find an REO agent? Man, that's the easiest thing there is. And it's a little tough, maybe. Tough and easy kind of thing. The easiest part is go to your local multiple listing service or board of realtors, and they have a public platform where you can search for houses in your area or the area that you want to invest in. And type in one of the search criteria, or choose one of the search criteria that allow you to choose REO. And then that's going to give you a list of all the REO listings. And then subsequently to that list, you're going to see the listing agent for each one of those properties. Take you 10 minutes, maybe at the most, and start keeping track. Okay, Bobby Jones, he has an REO. Suey Smith has an REO. And there's another Suey Smith, and there's another Suey Smith. And all of a sudden, Smith has like 15 REOs. Well, apparently they're the top REO agent in their area. So I want to call that person and interview them. Now, I'm not going to just call one. I'm going to call 3, 4, 5. So I think it's important that we work with like-minded people, that we aren't taken advantage of, and we don't take advantage of them. But we still need to work with someone who can work with us. And so we want to make sure we interview adequately, or enough folks, and do it adequately so that we find the person that fits. It's pretty simple. Yeah, just go to your board, look up for REOs, find the ones that have the majority of the listings, call those folks, have that working relationship. The REO agents are great because they help us determine value, because we're going to get a BPO on our contracts. They have the service providers that we need on the types of houses we buy. So they have the locksmiths, they have the boarding crews, they have the clean out crews, those kinds of things. They have the buyers that pay cash for REO listings that are always calling them, hey, you got a new REO? And they go, no, but I've got this new hotel deal over here. They got that kind of guy. And, that stuff's valuable. They have the service providers that you can use their reputation to hire these service providers, because you're going to have if you're new, and you don't have a reputation. So going with a good REO agent, you can kind of, live off their coattails a little bit while you're establishing your professional reputation. But easy to find.
Thanks for listening. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through yellow letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started, and get in touch at yellowletters.com.
And we are back in 3, 2,
1.
Question number 3. I'm using the Alex VA system. That is our call center. So as a coaching student, you can actually have your phones answered. So that's what they're talking about. And I'm investing locally. That's good. When calling back, should I go through the entire Ryan script? We have 2 scripts on our call center. We have the Alex script, that's the 16-question questionnaire, I think it is, where we ask all kinds of silly questions. Do you have a house they're hoping to sell? What do you think it's worth? All the characteristics of the house, all that kind of stuff. And then we have the Ryan script, which is the follow-up script. So the Alex makes an appointment for you or our Ryan, because it's the same call center that I use. And then Ryan negotiates the purchase. So this is what they're talking about. So they're going, do I use the entire Ryan script before going out to see the house? If you're going to go knock on the door, it wouldn't be the Ryan script. It would be the seller script number 2. And the reason for it is the Ryan script is built upon doing it virtually. You're local, you're going to go knock on a door, so use the seller script number 2. Let me put everybody on hold for a second. Let me go get that seller script, and I'll come back to you and we'll go through it real quick. Here, hang on, bear with me. Okay, I'm back. We go back to it. Seller script part 2. So seller script part 1, and I'll go through it really fast. You're asking them, do they have a house they're hoping to sell? Is it currently listed with a real estate professional? What do they think it's worth if we send out an appraiser, and what's their walk away? So that's the seller script number 1. And the reason we do number 1 is so we don't spend a lot of time asking them about the house specifics until we know that we have a motivated seller, because there's really no reason to ask someone the address if they, in fact, at the end of the day say, hey, I'm not ready to sell yet, because it's just a waste of our time. So let's just get the basic information from them and qualify them. And then if they are qualified, we'll go to the seller script number 2, which is, how did you happen to hear about us? Can you give me the property address you're hoping to sell? So how you happen to hear about us is important, so we know what our marketing is doing. Is there a better telephone number you can be reached at? So I want to confirm that this is the best telephone number because I'm calling them back. What's your primary email address where we can email you an offer or email you information? What time of day would be better for me to come out and buy your house, 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock? Before I come out to buy your house, there's just a few more questions we ask. So these are all embedded commands. When would you like to have your house sold? So next question. So if I can close escrow on this house based upon their answer, that'd be okay with you? And they're going to answer yes or no, and you're going to say terrific. Have you tried selling the house before? And I just want to know what motivation level they're at, if they're in the beginning, the middle, or they're just frustrated because they can't sell it. And if they have been selling it, what do you think stopped it from selling? And then why are you selling? So, have you tried to sell it before? What stopped it from selling? And we know what stops things from selling. I mean, let's face it, we all know this. The thing that stops a house from selling is the price from which it was offered. So we know that. So why you're selling, I want to know the underlying motivation. Then I want to ask them if they have to sell this house to buy the next one, because this is going to help me set up for sub 2 financing, seller financing, because if they say, no, we don't have to sell this one, buy the new one kind of thing, then I know that I can start working on terms, which is an important question. What's going to happen if it doesn't sell? So I want them to think about the bad news if it doesn't sell. So if they don't set their price at a price point that I can agree to, I want them to start thinking this way. And then the next question, are you aware how expensive it is and all the costs involved selling a house like theirs? Yes, no, I don't care. I just want them to know. Most people are aware that it's going to cost several $1,000s. Just a couple more questions. I want to make sure that they don't hang up on me. Is the house vacant or occupied? And of course, their answer is going to, give me some dialogue, because if it's vacant, I'm going to go vacant. Ouch. I hope it hasn't been vacant more than 30 days. And of course, we know that, or kind of know that, because how long they've been selling, or if they've been trying to sell. If it has been more than 30 days, I'm going to forewarn them to make sure that they still have insurance on the house, because most insurance policies lap it at 30. If they're owner occupying it, they're going to be moving out soon. Have you picked the next house? They're already kind of leading me this direction anyway. If it's tenant occupied, I want to know about the tenant, how long they've been there, how much they're paying. Is it a lease? Is it month to month? Next question, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, square foot? So I'm just starting to get characteristics of the house. Is there a garage, yes or no? Earlier, I spoke about paying all the repairs. What kind of repairs does it need, kind of thing? What amount should I assume I'll have to pay in those costs? So, we're buying them as is. We do all the repairs. What does it need? What does that cost, do you think, in their opinion? Is there a mortgage on the house, yes or no? First, second, third, is the mortgage in foreclosure? Got to ask that question, people. I know it's hard, but you got to ask the question, is the mortgage in foreclosure? If it is in foreclosure, is it just a notice of default or list pendings, or is it gone all the way to trustee sale? Is there a sale date? What's the arrearage amount? And then the next question, one of the last questions when I come out, it's important that all the decision makers are there so I can come to an agreement to buy your house. Will all the decision makers be there at the appointment so we can come to an agreement? Yes or no? And if they say no, don't go out to the appointment. Please don't go out to the appointment. Just say, go back and, ask them again, what time would be better for me to meet all of the people there to buy the house? 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock kind of stuff. So it's alternate choice. You're always giving them an alternate choice. You don't ask them to tell you, because then if you do, you give them the power, and we always want to be controlling of the power. Next question, is there anything you need from me besides my checkbook when I come out to buy your house? Bring me some pizza and beer, Mike. All right, what kind of beer you want? What kind of pizza you want? I don't care. Next question, and if you could do me a favor, can you locate the warranty deed? However, if you don't have it, when I buy the house tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I can have my closing company or escrow company look for that or get the recorded copy. And when I'm done with the call today, I'm going to send you a confirmation email. And on that confirmation email, if you could reply with some current pictures of the inside and the outside of the house, that would be great. And then John Doe, whoever it is, I look forward to buying your house tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So another embedded command about buying the house. Thank you. And then the last question we always have to ask is, do you know anyone else that wants to sell a house? A lot of our business comes from referrals, so if you happen to know anybody, please let me know when I come out tomorrow at 2 o'clock to buy yours. And so this is seller questionnaire number 2, and it's geared to more of I'm going to go out and see you, where the Ryan script is geared to doing all this over the phone. And when you learn how to do it in person, then we'll learn how to do it over the phone, because over the phone is better. Now, you won't get as many deals as doing it in person because you don't have that nurturing, that bonding, that association factor, but you can do more. So, the time of travel costs time, and time's money. And, in 30 minutes I can get a contract signed. Well, in 30 minutes I can drive across town. So, if I drive 30 minutes to go across town and get a contract, well, by the time an hour goes by or so, I could have had 2 contracts had I done enough marketing to have multiple opportunities. So always learn how to do it virtually after you learn how to do it physically. Great question. How do I find an agent who will list houses on the MLS with just having a contract signed? That just takes research and trial and error. It's absolutely legal to sell something that you have the right to buy. We're going to, as a wholesale deal, we're going to buy it. We're not going to sign the contract. We're actually going to physically buy the property. When the seller signs our contract, they relinquish the title of seller because they can't sell it to anybody else. We're the only ones at that point that can sell the property to somebody else, unless we took in a contingency agreement, and we don't do contingencies for the right to buy. So because we have the exclusive right to buy, they're no longer the seller. We become the seller and can sell it to somebody else. We just have to record first and do a concurrent or simultaneous or delayed close, and either one of those 3 are okay. They're okay. We'll teach you how to do that. Question number 5, pre-foreclosure. Seller just wants to walk away, lives out of state, everything done virtually. ARV, unsure about this value, is about $175 to $200. That seems like a big spread. Purchase price $60,000. Seller has to check mortgage balance and late fees, penalties for being 10 months late or behind on the payment. So it's not 60. You've got what you got to do here. If it's a $60,000 principal balance on the mortgage, and that was from the statement whenever, you got to add those 10 payments. And then if they're in pre-foreclosure, you've got to add the trustee sale expense, because it's about $4,000 or $5,000 there. So let's assume there are $1,000 a month payments, and there are 10 of those behind. And at one point they owed $60,000, so now they owe $70,000. And then you should figure another $5,000 for the trustee sale. So they probably owe around $75,000. Now, then we have to look at kind of work. What's the work? And here's the formula, really quick formula. In the old days, the old formula was ARV times 70 minus repairs. And I think that's puke. I want to throw up every time someone says that's what they use, because they're not valuing their service enough. So what I like is ARV minus 2 times repairs, or repairs plus $10,000 a month times however many months it takes to repair. So if, let's say, for instance, I have a $5,000 repair on a house. That's all I got. It's $5,000. I'm going to take the ARV minus 10 because I'm doing 2 times repairs. I'm going to come up with the as-is. I'm going to take the as-is by 65 cents. Now, if it's $12,000 worth of repairs, I'm going to look at that $12,000. How long does it take me? If it only takes me a month, then I'm going to go 12 plus 10,000. That's 22. Minus the ARV, and that's going to get me a value times 65 cents. And the reason we do that is because we have to be compensating ourselves and mitigating costs for these repairs besides just the repair cost. So if you go down, I got a big old rehab, you go down to Home Depot 17 times over a 2-month period, you have to be compensated for that. There's going to be 2 months of holding costs. You've got interest payments on your mortgage. You've got insurance. You've got maintenance. You've got all these things, and you've got to be compensated. So the old formula of ARV times 70 minus repairs just doesn't work for me. So I like ARV minus 2 times repairs, or repairs plus months times 10,000 times 65 cents. And that'll get you safe. Now, yes, does it squeeze some of the mini deals out of the way and push them aside because the 70 times ARV minus repairs is a bigger offer in most occasions to the seller? Yes, I get it. However, I don't want to be working a lot. I want to be working smart. So I don't want to go out there and do a bunch of mini deals. I want to do a few really big deals, justify my skill set, the amount of money I've paid to learn what I know how to do, be paid handsomely for it, not have risk because I've factored in enough money for expenses, and it's profitable. And then I can go help folks that can't help themselves. Great questions today. Sorry it took me so long to answer them. I appreciate the opportunity, and remember, jump on up to iTunes and give us a review. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.